Hello everyone and welcome to Poser's full movie recaps. In the near future, the day comes when scientists in one of the biotechnology laboratories begin to clone famous personalities in exchange for a very large amount of money. Many wealthy people avail of this service, so they can have a child of geniuses like Vivaldi, Galileo, or Michelangelo. Soon, people decide to take a swing at something far more valuable to every living creature on earth, God himself. After Lucifer rebels against the monarchy of God in heaven and gets defeated by the Archangel Michael, the flaming meteor was thrown into the underworld where Lucifer had to remain in unbreakable chains to be punished. Michael himself chained him to a rock and begs him to return as a devoted angel in heaven, but Lucifer answers that he will rather reign in hell than serve in paradise. He then promised that he will return someday, and rule the world as he is meant to be. Lucifer was joined by legions of demons as he craves revenge. Meanwhile, Lucifer's disciples on earth set up a temple at the site of his fall into the abyss, who believes that one day, the Dark Prince will return to rule on earth. In the present, Laura Milton, an American student, is trying to persuade her professor to accept her thesis on the theme that there are no evil or good spirits, but the man refuses the offer as he thinks that the subject looks like a boring movie and an arrogant dissertation. When Lauren insists to discuss her thesis, the professor intimately invites her to his apartment, which she outright refuses and leaves. Somewhere else, a rare exhibition begins at the museum which unveils an artifact called the Shroud of Turin. It is said to be the burial cloth of Jesus himself, which contains the DNA of the said God as the record states. Laura enters the museum after her priest friend handed her a VIP passage badge. She knows Father Michael Marconi explains that Christ was wrapped in the shroud the day he died and eventually rose from the dead, where his body shines so brightly that makes his imprint remained on the cloth. He tours Laura at the statue of the Archangel Michael and explains that he has been recently brought to the museum to symbolically guard the shroud. Laura argues about the existence of good and evil, but the priest insists that Michael stands between the devil and men. He adds that there are many prophecies that Lucifer will return, but Marconi hopes that it will not happen while he is alive. Laura gets comfortable and begins to draw the statue when suddenly, she hears someone whispers her name but no one is around. When it's nearly the closing time for the gallery, the last group of tourists enters the museum. While the guard is distracted for a moment, a figure wearing a black cloak separates from the group and makes its way through the side door. Despite the late hour, Laura is still working at the museum and notices that Lucifer's head on the statue moves. She hesitantly looks closer at the said statue, but gets creeped out by the cry of a raven on the windowsill. As she walks away, she didn't notice the sinister figure behind her, who pulls the sword from Michael's hand and leave. The guard arrives and reminds Laura that the museum will be closed shortly, so he offers to guide her out, but the woman says that she must visit Father Marconi before she leaves. As she walks away, she witnesses the guard being slain by a hooded figure using a sword. Scared for her life, Laura runs away in terror and hides in the confessional chamber. She watched as the hooded figure is revealed to be a woman named Liz, who breaks the glass over the Shroud of Turin as Padre Marconi arrives. The priest tries to stop Liz in the name of Saint Michael but gets stabbed in his chest by the culprit. A moment later, a couple of men arrive at the museum, who turns out to be Liz's underlings. They find Laura hiding at the confessional, but before the goon can finish her out, Liz stops them, as she can be a good offering to their master. The mysterious group takes the shroud and Laura with them, unaware that the wounded priest summons the Archangel Michael to possess his body to be able to defeat the evil enemies. Not long after, a luminous whirlwind descends from above and hits Father Marconi. He then tries to catch up with the villains as they drive away, but the body of the priest cannot stand running too fast. Sometime later, a scientist named Dr. Laurent explains his discovery of a procedure by which he can grow babies from the DNA of great men from the past. This means that there is a possibility of resurrecting the most prominent figures in the history of mankind, and as proof, he presents the reincarnation of the great Vivaldi, a Venetian composer, virtuoso violinist, and impresario of Baroque music. He also introduces the new Vivaldi's proud parents and continues the bid on the next slot, which is the new Michelangelo Buonarroti, the famous painter and sculptor. The bidding starts at 10 million euros and as the bids go higher, Liz appears in the gallery and signals Dr. Laurent to follow. The pair travels to the Devil's Castle, where the doctor is presented with the Shroud of Turin, as they hope for Lucifer to finally awakens and have a decent home. Meanwhile, the captive Laura meets some more women in chains, who all sit inside a glass containment room. All of them are horrified and confused with their situation, especially when a few men enter the room to take blood samples from Laura and take a photo of her. At the museum, Father Marconi, or rather the Archangel Michael in his body, makes his way to the guard room, where two monks are watching the murder videos taken from the security cameras. Seeing him alive astonishes the monks, who ask for the whereabouts of the protectors of the shroud. The monks reluctantly explain that Cardinal Vincini, who is responsible for everything, is currently at the asylum of Saint Michael the Archangel, as he suffers from delusions of seeing evil everywhere. Father Marconi takes his car keys and drives to the Cardinal's location, where he meets the Cardinal with a gun pointed at him. Upon learning of the recent events, Vincini becomes enraged as he warned them beforehand. He then realizes that the priest is someone else, and proceeds to show him the map of Lucifer's castle. He adds that Lucifer's followers intend to revive the devil, and reminds Marconi of the scriptures which state that one day, the devil will be freed from his chains and will rise from the underworld. As Dr. Laurent prepares the shroud to isolate DNA from the blood traces on it, Laura talks with the other captives and tries to encourage them not to lose hope. When another woman asks if she is married, she answers no, as her husband and child were murdered in the past. The time has come when the doctor finishes his DNA experiment and takes Laura and another captive into the lab. They artificially impregnate the two women with fertilized eggs containing the isolated DNA from the shroud, to produce a copy of God himself inside them, as it is only the God or Michael who can be able to free the devil from his chains. The devil's followers have offered Lucifer the bodies of virgins for centuries, but human vessels are too weak. There was only one woman in history, who was able to bear and give birth to a son of God, and today science is ready to open the gates to the devil using Christ's DNA. Outside, Cardinal Vincini escorts Michael to the entrance of the devil's cave and warns him of a monster who awaits inside. The devil's monster from the deep bowels of hell takes Laura and the other girl, and transports them into the gateway of the underworld. The two are put inside an iron cage while the demons hold the other woman first, so the devil can try to possess her. When the woman crumples to the ground, they proceed to hold Laura as the essence of Lucifer enters her body. It turns out that Laura is a compatible vessel and survives, who Liz greets with delight as she walks out of the dungeon. Laura is escorted back into the glass prison, where Liz informs her that her child will be the new deliverer. Somewhere inside the dungeon, Michael is able to sneak inside the castle by impersonating a guard. He tries looking for the shroud, and after he finds it, he starts looking for Laura. Suddenly, Dr. Laurent enters the lab, but Marconi quickly overpowers the man and asks what he needs the shroud for. He just answers that it is for the new beginning, which frustrates the Archangel that causes him to burn the laboratory. He rushes to look for Laura and finds her inside the glass prison, where the woman is happy to see her friend alive. Michael in Marconi's body starts to have visions of Lucifer, while Laura figures that the man is not actually his priest friend. This makes her more confused, so the woman runs away from him, but the Archangel catches her and drags Laura into the storage room. He explains that he is actually the Archangel Michael, who is borrowing the dead priest's body. He asks what they did to Laura, and she explains that they impregnate her with the God and the devil's baby. When Liz learns that the shroud is missing, he instructs every guard to capture Laura alive at any cost. Laura and Michael run back inside the dungeon, and try to hide from the devil's monster in a narrow passageway. The monster catches up to them on the other side, and Michael fights the monster to save Laura. But the monster overpowers Marconi's body, as humans are not intended to be a vessel of higher beings. Liz captures Laura and brings her back into the glass prison, where the woman gets tied to a bed because she threatens to harm the fetus inside her. Michael gets chained to the wall, and he uses his archangel powers to get free. He then proceeds to open the gateway to Lucifer's prison in the underworld, and as he reaches the devil's location, he finds his brother missing, as is his sword. Lucifer's demon of greed Mammon traps Michael in the devil's previous prison, as he intends to close the gates of hell, leaving the archangel imprisoned instead of Lucifer by using the devil's sword. Meanwhile, Laura is being checked by the doctors who declare the woman and the fetus healthy, and Liz will do anything to save the baby. She believes that the child will just be the beginning, and tries to make Laura accept her fate. She believes that Lucifer is the brave warrior equal to God, and refers to God as a tyrant who wants to enslave the Dark Prince. Liz explains the transformation happening to Laura's body, which she needs to protect for the divine child inside her. Laura doesn't want to accept her imposed role as the mother of an incomprehensible creature, but at the moment, she has no other choice but to bid her time. Back in hell, the people who were given to Lucifer come to Michael, pronouncing the oath, "Saved one, saved all," to go home. But before they can help Michael escape, the demons find them, so they quickly run away to save themselves. Laura gets visited by Lucifer in a vision, who speaks inside her mind, and tries to convince her to give birth to the baby. The devil promises to give Liz whatever she wishes, and he even offers her the life of Liz, which Laura hates. As time goes by, Laura's body starts to change as the baby grows inside her belly, and she sees herself holding a baby in her arms in a vision created by the devil. One day, she is able to free herself as her body becomes stronger for the baby, and terribly mutilates guards on her way out. She's horrified as she realizes what she has done, and she quickly runs out of the ward and hides in the storage room. Laura locks herself inside and takes a bottle of chlorine so she can eliminate what's inside of her. Even though it fights her not to do it, Laura is able to gulp the bottle of chlorine. When Liz finds Laura inside the storeroom, she thought that the woman was able to get rid of the divine's child. Turns out that consuming chlorine didn't affect the devil inside, and Lucifer possesses Laura's body, which spills all of her stomach's content into Liz. The devil warns Liz to not make any more mistakes, which the minion scarily accepts and nods. The devil orders her to finish Laura as soon as he is able to get out of her womb, as he is tired of the woman's rightfulness. He adds that no witness can live after the birth, and Liz gladly accepts the devil's order. Laura gets imprisoned in a glass sarcophagus, to prevent any further attempts to kill the devil inside her. Lucifer returns to the underworld where he sees Michael, and taunts him as he offers him an alliance because no one else will be able to defeat him again. But the Archangel refuses to support the rebel angel. Lucifer thanks Michael for his new home, which is the body of Jesus himself that will be his own. As Lucifer flies away, Michael suddenly realizes this is not at all what he thought it is, because it is not the devil but God who has chosen Laura for the birth. She will give birth to Christ and not the devil himself, because Lucifer just intends to make it a vessel after birth. With renewed hope, he asks the lost people to bring him his sword, but the demons lurk around and the sword is too heavy to carry. Two men risk their lives to bring the weapon to set Michael free, who quickly demolish all the demons nearby. He promises to return the favor for saving him, as he will come back later to free the lost men. After Michael retrieves the shroud from the dungeon, he goes to Laura's sarcophagus and gets horrified by her changes. He tries explaining to her that this child is not evil at all, as it is he who will defeat the devil himself. He takes the sarcophagus away to hide from guards, but when Laura gets out of her prison, she throws Michael away and stands over him. In Lucifer's voice, Laura tells Michael that her water is breaking, and searing jets of water pour out on the Archangel. Michael screams in pain and the two start to bicker over who will possess who, after the baby's birth, which extremely angers the devil. Michael promises that the devil will not be able to control the child, as he is the one who will defeat Lucifer because good is always stronger than evil. The enraged devil throws a tantrum and destroys everything around them, and when Liz arrives, Lucifer in Laura's body tries to explain that God tricked him. Liz ignores Laura's rant and drags her back inside. After Laura gives birth to the baby, all of Lucifer's followers gather inside the castle courtyard. As they celebrate the birth of the devil's vessel, the monster starts slaughtering every worshipper present in the courtyard and saves the good doctor for last. Michael tries escaping the room where he is held and saves Laura from falling into the gateway to hell, and she runs quickly to retrieve her baby from Liz. Michael tells her to find the cardinal as he can help her hide with her child, who Michael calls the God who chose his mother. Michael comes back inside to seal the gate to hell, but the monster intervenes and tries to stop him. Without any other choice, Michael detonates the explosives he plants earlier around the castle, which explodes to the great joy of the cardinal. Sometime later, Laura and the cardinal enter the temple to return the Shroud of Turin, while Michael goes back to hell to retrieve the lost people as he promised. A few peaceful years later, Laura and her son, who she named Michael after the Archangel, are unaware that they are being observed secretly by Liz, who calls the child baby Lucifer. Young Michael then turns around and shows a dark jet coming out of his mouth, which stuns Liz for what she just witnessed. Thank you for watching today's movie recap. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help the channel out. You can also hit the notification bell for more upcoming full movie rundowns.